All right. Well, is today the day that Major Castleman loses for once? There's been whispers about him hacking around the paddock.
Ooh,
People very suspicious. But
how did you hear that?
through certain sources. If I speak anymore, I'm in trouble. So I'll leave it at that.
Oh, you are.
All right. So, oh, is that Aston Martin coming up first? Who is that? Is that Elliot? Is that who is that? It's not letting me. It's not letting me go on board. Ah! Hold on. That would be Elliot. Here we go. Here we go. First one on track. It's Elliot. On time and professional as always. Started the season out on wheel and then decided, no, actually, I'm going to go back to controller. Which at this track, I cannot blame him.
Track, is it? Yeah.
It's a pad track.
You just ask why. He's always every track is a weird track.
Spike's a little bitch.
Yeah, fair enough.
And Canordi has retired immediately. I don't know if he has a quali ban or what, but
I don't think so. He hasn't raced in years.
maybe just wants to start at the back. Doesn't want to cause any troubles in a turn one.
I was just about to say I have him on pole.
I remember whatever happened to Nugget, the legendary Division 5 commentator from seasons past.
What?
Nugget, you remember him from Division 5 commentating? Previous
Oh yeah, he
seasons?
did. Rest in peace.
Yeah,
He was a good nugget. To be fair.
yeah. He had that beef with Dan Gilligan, and then we never saw anything from him again.
Oh really?
Yeah.
First time I'm hearing this.
I don't know. Here's
Paris
Elliot.
drama. First time. Oh my god.
Let's see what Elliot
So what?
can do. What are you gonna say?
Who will get pole tonight?
Who will get pole? You know, I gotta say, it's a pad track. I'm investing in Elliot stocks. I think Elliot's gonna get pole here.
I think it's false 12.
You think False 12 is gonna get pole?
Yeah, and the win, of course.
Oh.
The Grand Slam.
A bit of an Aston Martin man in previous years, but you're turning coat and saying Alfa Romeo.
It has Knack Track and Massey.
I
Who
see.
doesn't love that team?
I see, yeah. Oh, by the way, tune into Division 1 tomorrow if you want to see me and Massey continue our epic fight for the title of Division 1.5. We're sort of like demigods in the world of all the aliens. But Elliot through the final corner now. It's all looked fairly tidy. No trouble at all. No worries. 126.3. Let's go on board with your hero, False 12, who has invalidated. Let's see, then
He's
Billy's the
just
next one
handbagging.
across the line. Can't beat Elliot. Can't do it. And Coral, so far, making it an Aston 1-2. Well, let's go on board then with the championship leader, the guy who's been indomitable throughout the first few races. Major Castleman going out on the mediums to start out with. Deciding maybe going an alternate strategy might work. Hasn't worked in terms of pace. 28-second lap time. Disgusting.
Like does on all softs in the race.
Yeah, I don't know if mediums are the tire to start on, because it's the FRS, and there's gonna be a safety car, isn't there? An early one as well.
False 12 will cause it.
And you're saying he's gonna win?
Yeah, but he won't retire.
Okay,
just so he can go to the back and overtake everyone.
I see. Or will he just kill someone else to pull it out?
Yeah. Also,
It's a good call. Elliott goes for a second flyer in a row and goes even faster, 26-0. And Dogged sets a 26-6. Elliott's in a world of his own, 4/10 of a second. The gap to the nearest person. Here comes False 12. Let's see if he can do anything.
please, come on, please.
Oh, it's P6.
Okay. Oh my god, I thought it would be so much worse.
Faithful in your pick for pole position as always.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I remember 2 seasons ago, it was at this very track that me and False 12 had it coming together at turn 1 and turn 2. And, just a different time, season 3.
And Ilya?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
went for... Elliot was Div 1, no?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, back in season 3, Elliott was Div 1. Of course, that was a different game, 2020. That was a different booth as well. I didn't know how to race wheel to wheel, so I just kind of killed False 12. And then I blamed it on him.
Oh, the legendary report.
Oh, yeah, the one with the diagram that I sent to Sienna Bob. Shout out to Brewski, who is subbing once again for this division. Has put it P5. You start to wonder, does the boy belong here?
Is he using trigger braking or is he back on the button?
Ooh, I don't know. I think he gave up on trigger braking.
That's pointing.
But I'm not sure. Let's see, who's out there right now? Lord Volk? No, he's coming in pits. Walrus? Yeah, Walrus is on a lap. Castleman's on another lap. Now he's coming into the pits.
Okay.
So, early on, first run's done for everyone. Walrus into the pits. The 2 Ferraris both setting their lap times on the medium tire. But of course, the ultimate pace is in the 26s, and I think by the end of the session we'll be seeing 25s.
From False 12.
Yeah, of course. I think False 12 might actually set a 24. He's got it in.
Belong here. He belongs to Div 0. Of course. The Ferrari boys on medium.
It's not working out. Better off just not setting a time at this stage. Let's see. Milo showed up. It's always a blessing when Milo shows up.
Yeah, he's a legend of the
Yeah. You know, I picked him for my Xbox Division 2 Fantasy. Because I was like, Milo? He's like Division 3 in PC. Of course he's going to walk Division 2 Xbox. He's a steal. I can pick him up for like $1 million.
Didn't they remove him? Div 2?
Yeah, he's just not racing an Xbox. So. I've played myself.
Evil Booth taking over.
Yeah, I'm quite evil. I had a beef with Knack Track last night. Let me just use this platform that I have right now of all my viewers. Let me just use my platform right quick to call out Knack Track and to call out Ricky Botby, the turtle. I hate that guy. I mean, you say a word and he just parrots you. It's like he doesn't have an original thought. He's got that brainlet look in his face. And he's just always like smirking at you. Like he thinks he's smarter than you, but he's just not. He's a stupid turtle.
He's never just had having fun. Thought. Why do you hate fun?
Listen. He's just, I mean, I don't know. It's only poggers as well. Like he doesn't do it with any other word. He's like an infant that is just fixated on one word. You know, I hate him. And if turtles had knees, I would go out there with a baseball bat and break them. Here comes Milo. Will it be a faster lap than the one that they're already on? Yes, it's P9. And at request of Knack Track, we're going to look at Mr. Brewski here. Houston, take us through this lap. He's invalidated. Never mind.
He's classic Cram.
Okay, Castleman's on the softs. Take us through this lap.
He's approaching turn 4. I like to just send it here, brake as late as possible, because the track extends a lot at the exit. Not the best at picking up the throttle. Nice T5 and T6. He needs to extend here as well. He doesn't. That's going to be slow. He's not idiot after all. He likes to take a tighter line here. It's not the best, but if you're good with it, then okay.
He seems scared of the curbs. Speaking of, Elliot has gone into the 20.
You can Monka steer through here because you don't use the front brakes as much through the lap. Ooh, that was nice. Okay. Cancel now. Okay.
Alright, let's see.
Okay.
Let's see it. It's P4.
Oh, that's actually pretty good. It's his first run on the softs. Like, fair enough.
Yeah.
Also, he's on wheel, so we have to consider that.
Yeah, this is a pad track. This is probably the most pad-favored track of any track. Is Brewski on another run here? I think he is. He might just
He's been
be.
struggling in 10.5 and 10.6.
He's made it through okay this time.
He doesn't touch the curves. Very smart. Unlike Holo, who's been riding every curve there is in existence.
Yeah. Weird thing, I saw Hollow last night in Div 1 chat, and for some unknown reason, he had a Mercedes flare.
Yeah, he doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah.
That's very weird.
I reported it to the authorities, and they rightfully took it away.
Cram missed the apex a bit out at 10-11.
You don't really need to hit an apex there. Oh, he's going off, and he's invalidated.
Oh.
I don't think we should be watching him, man. He just chokes every time we're looking at him. False 12 is also invalidated. Has to come into the pits.
He's just like Hamilton. Likes to give false
false
to other drivers.
Anybody on a lap? I don't think so. Pinashiro, actually, yes, is on a lap. First run on the softs. The Ferrari man, the second Ferrari man. Last season when I was commentating, God, what was that? Division 4?
Yeah.
I always called him my favorite Ferrari driver. I don't know.
He was in Div 1 in Season 3.
Yeah, he
and
was.
Season 2. And Season 1.
Yeah. Season 3 Div 1 had such like a spread of drivers. Like from Fraser.
VTEC Panda. My favorite driver.
Had Martin in there as well.
Yeah. But VTEC Panda had to wake up at like 4 a.m. to drive.
Oh yeah.
That's
Tracy has
commitment.
to do that too. He makes it
Yeah,
work.
but he's not Div 1.
That's true. VTEC Panda, the tire wear god, or whatever he was called. Let's see if Pinashiro can make any improvement. Yeah, it's an improvement of 1 position. Fair enough. Respectable. Everyone's into the pits before, I imagine, people are going to be rushing out.
It's Book 20,
Book 20.
as the boomer says it. Hopkins. Snake Pop, how I like to call him.
Yeah. Well, here's your man, False 12. Coming out of the pits.
Look at that. So elegant.
Some people are saying that the Alfa Romeo livery for the 2022 season looks quite nice. I don't see it. I like the 2021 livery. I like the 2020 livery actually the best out of all of them. As Book comes into the pits. But is that such a controversial opinion to say that the 2020 Alpha was better than 21, which is better than 22?
I think the one off livery in 2021 was the best one.
Oh, the one with a bit of green for Monza?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was nice. Before Gio went into the wall.
Did he? Like,
No,
no,
no, he
went
put
into
someone else into the
Carlos.
wall. Yeah.
Yeah, Carlos. No, Carlos put him into the wall. I think. Right?
Hmm. Yeah, something like that. False 12 has invalidated his outlap. Lucky for him, that doesn't really matter.
I like how he's pushing in the outlet, so his tires are 100 degrees.
Nice and toasty. You gotta get him warm. That's where the peak performance is. He's gonna have an absolutely smashing first sector and gonna be suffering through the rest.
Come on, Paul. I put $100 on you.
He's gonna have a little bit of traffic. The Mercedes ahead, but escapes the wrath of that giant pack that has just exited the pits. Mr. Book pulls over. No, that's not Book. That's Man. That's pulled over for him.
Did you see how he hit the apex? So beautiful, so elegant. Come on, Paul. He doesn't touch the care. He doesn't care. Oh, this is going to be Paul. I guarantee you.
Look at that! Look at that little drift. Little drift. Why is his name False 12, but he runs with the number 13?
That controversial. Goes back to last season.
Ah.
We can talk about that though.
Well, he's a 10th up on his lap. That's not going to be enough for pole so far. But it will move him up a position or so.
With the power of friends, it is. Come on, Paul.
Well, that looked like a nice final corner.
Yeah.
26. It's an improvement to
Oh,
P6.
That was perfect.
Well, let's look at my pick for pole position. Who's already on pole position? False 12 has gone into the wall. I think that's the Mazepin sand trap. Yet it dropped it. Don't know if he was going to go for a second consecutive fly, or maybe he's just saving on tires, putting it into the wall. You don't have to do the in lap.
Yeah. Elliot almost the same as the last lap in the first sector.
I don't know if anyone's going to be able to match this 25.
Elliot went a bit wide at T5, so he had to take a more acute line on turn 6. Misses the apex on turn 10. What a lap.
Just tearing him apart. I assure you, it's to do with the low rake of the Aston Martin car. It's just faster to take the karting lines through these corners. Look at that. He's up by 0.02 of a second. This is going to be a world record. He's even getting a slipstream for the Mercedes in front of him.
Spike is sweating in his home. I don't know.
Elliot goes fast
Oh
at
my
25.8. Can his teammate do anything about it? Coral looks like he's up just a little bit. Does improve just a little bit.
You made me proud.
Aston on top. Can
Okay.
Dog do anything about it? Doesn't look like it. Stays P5. Villi's into the pits. Can the championship leader, Major Castleman, or can Brewski do anything about it? No. Does not improve.
007, he improved.
Buck 20.
Book. Okay. Major.
Last one to complete his lap. Round the final corner now. Will he play spoiler to Elliot's party? Lazo has played spoiler to the Aston Martin 1-2 by putting himself in P2, and Major Castleman will go P4.
That's actually pretty good. Like Coral and Castleman on wheel, low 26s. Quite nice.
Yeah, that's quite nice.
Shame False will win though. Shame for on the top 10.
He's gonna get a great start.
Yeah.
He's gonna overtake everyone. The running order then: Elliot on pole, just as I predicted. Lazo's P2, Coral P3. And then a fellow American, Castleman, P4. Fellow that was formerly known as a captain. And then we got Lord Volk, Dog, Villy, False 12, Book 20, and Brewski in P10. For the Williams team, the sole Williams in this race. Where have I gone? Then we got Milo, P11, Man, P12, Shamblizi, P13. Love that guy. Then we got Pinocchio, Walrus, and Kanurdi, who did not set a time.
Is it Canodi or Nordi?
I think it's actually Nordi, but
Oh,
I brought up
okay.
Nugget earlier, because he always just called him Kanurdi. And it stuck with me.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like how it's actually Buck 20, but I've started calling him Book, just because Snake Hopkins does it, and it's funny.
Snake Paw, please.
Snakepaw. Fake cram. You know, Houston, have you done any practice on the hard tires around here?
Spike bullied me for doing that. So I never touched them again.
I see.
Until Singapore, I tried it last season. And then he bullied me again to not using it.
I mean, they were pretty decent in 2020. Took quite a man to do a one-stop soft to mediums there, which I was able to pull off, by the way.
Me too. I did it as well. And I won.
See? Exactly. It takes quite a
Yeah.
man. It takes quite a man to do it. But here, it's the optimal strategy. It's the one that everyone's going to be doing, and it's quite easy as well. Might get a bit sketchy near the end, but I don't think so. Elliott just crisping up his tires off the start. Looked like he was in a burnout competition rather than a Formula One formation lap. So we already know your thoughts for the top step of the podium, but who do you think's going to come P2, P3? Anybody you think's going to really upset?
Works and Nordi. Because they're Alpha Tauri, and we know they have inside power.
Yeah. Be quite a run from 15th and 16th up to the front of the grid. But I don't doubt it. Everyone in front could just crash themselves, and that's that. I think, right. I think Castleman's going to have a dog of a Grand Prix, and I think Dog's going to steal the second step. And there's going to be some sort of strategy element that's going to put Lazo in P3. I have faith in Dog. I've always loved that guy ever since Season 3, Division 2 in Spain, when they forgot to turn on the formation lap, and he complained about it to no end. Or was that Adam that complained about it?
Millie? Millie Vanilli?
Yeah, Millie.
Millie.
What a weird time.
I'm going to watch the start and then go. Luck for the rest.
Oh, you're abandoning me. Sorry, I took a drink of water there and it went down the wrong way.
That sounds painful.
But yes, here we go. I should have looked at the tires. What's everybody on? Detail. Let's see, Milo, Shamblizi, Walrus, and Canordi starting on the medium tires. Everyone's starting on the softs. Makes sense. Because, you know, it's probably going to be a safety car. Let's look at Elliott from the start here. In the front of the grid. 2 Aston Martins in the top 3. So we get ready. Everybody knows what's coming. I'm absolutely ready to just belt this out. Here come the lights. Look, but never stare at them. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys. It looked like a fairly poor start from Elliott there. We're going to look at Coral here on board. Draws alongside comes Major Castleman. Is going to be looking into turn 1. Lazarus is going to be looking to go in the lead. He has the inside. He's going to go past, maybe so. There's some argy-bargy in the background. People contacting all around. False 12 has had a horrible start, down to P12 so far. And Coral has also had a fairly poor start. And he's going to fight with that's Lord Volk through turn 4.
They had contact. A bit of contact.
Just a little bit of contact, but it looks like that's the position for them, and they might just lose out to Dog here coming into the hairpin. Under braking. Dog's fighting with Book 20 for that position. And it looks like Book's going to get the better line for the next turn. Got the inside here. it's all looking quite good. But Villy is the lead. Alfa Romeo's false 12 has fallen back to P11 here off the start. What a shame. Chamblizi in the background fighting with the Haas of Milo.
I'm going to have to go now. Good luck with the rest of the race.
Okay, and say good luck to your man.
Yeah, false, come on. It's false 12. 12 minus 11, number 1. Easy.
Ooh,
Win.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Husam,
Goodbye.
loved having you
Goodbye,
on. Lovely
Yeah,
chat.
Wasn't really awkward at all.
No, it wasn't. Well, I was always a solo man. Solo dolo. So here we come on to lap 2. Looking at the pit stop strategy, 2-stop, dog water. Not going to happen. No one's going to go into the 2-stop. It sucks unless there's a safety car to bring the pack back together. In that case, we're probably going to be seeing everyone coming into the pits. It's like a 26-second delta to take a pit stop here, so no one's really going to want to take that pain. But it's Elliott out in front, stretching a bit of a lead from Lazo, 6/10 behind, and Major Castleman sticking to the Red Bull quite well. But I fully expect a DRS train to form around here. It's just, the DRS gains you like a second a lap. 1.1 seconds a lap. And so you just have to be seriously faster in order to break the DRS of the car behind. Speaking of breaking the DRS, Brewski right on the cusp, right before we go into the lap where it's going to be activated, and is looking like he might just fall out of the DRS of the cars ahead. Track is easy to overtake on, as long as you're not stuck in a train. But, oh, there's yellow flags out there. That's Milo, who's retired from this session. What's happened there? The two AlphaTauris have come together, and it looks like Chamblizi and Milo has had contact. Full course safety car. Elliott's not going to come in. Lazo is. Lazo is into the pits, and so far is the only one to opt for the pit stop. From P2 in the race, here comes Book, Villy, and Mr. Brewski is going to come in. Man, and as we go further down the field, we're seeing many more people deciding take the early stop. But a bit of a gamble then from Lazo. From P2 in the race, going to lose 5 positions, end up in P7, going to the medium tires. But many people behind electing to take the pit stop, the free pit stop. Kunordi moving up 10 positions there by declining the free pit stop. Might come back to haunt him in the end, but of course he did start on the medium tires, so makes a little bit of sense why he would not have taken the pit stop. Right then, so Lazo, Book, Brewski, Man, and False 12 have all gone onto the medium tires, which you can go to the end from here. You're going to be suffering in the last few laps, but yeah, it's very much possible, as long as you're not a monkey on your tires. But Villy, Pinashiro, and Walrus have all opted for the hard tires, which I'm not sure if Walrus is under human control right now. I've been seeing him leaving and joining and leaving and joining this session, so there may have been an AI decision to take the hard compound tires. The top 5, top 6, all not pitting. Elliott remains on top of the stack, and right behind him comes Major Castleman, who I said was going to have a dog of a race. But so far, so good for a track that honestly should be his bogey track. So, take a sip of water. Shoutouts to our sponsor today. It's tap water. It quenches your thirst like no other, especially if you have rusty pipes. It just gives you extra minerals. You know, if you have an iron deficiency, look no further than rusty pipes to get your tap water from. You'll get that iron straight into you. But it's gonna be a bit of a war of the strategies here, because Lazo's in the pound seat. He's taken the stop. Like I said, it's like a 26-second delta to take a stop here, and so that's gonna be a serious advantage that Lazo's gonna have to go to the end of the race. All he has to do is not get overtaken, and his closest competitor is Book 20, who started P9 in this race compared to Lazo's P2. So, give or take a little bit, I don't think think that Lazo might be able to stretch out a bit of a gap, not worry too much about Book. There's not too many people behind Lazo that I think he'll actually have to really worry about. We have the Super Sub Brewski and P10, as always, doing a great job in Division 2. But for me, at this stage, I mean, Elliott down to Dog, they're all going to be looking for something to bail them out here. Because as it stands, Lazo is very much in the optimal position to win this race. But I think the safety car will be in this lap and we'll be able to go racing once again. No penalties so far. It's not a track that you'd expect to see too many of them. But it's going to be a bit of a tale of two races. P1 to P6 in a race of their own, and then P7 to P14 in a race of their own. Until we get another safety car, which I guarantee you there will be another safety car, which is coming in this lap. The beautiful green Aston Martin leading, and Aston Martin in P1 and in P3 split by the championship leader, Major Castleman, who's been on quite the run of form as of late. Surely, a Division 1 star of the future is the artist formerly known as Major Castleman as we approach the final corner to go racing once again. What is Elliott going to do? Is he gonna leave the jump right up until the very last moment, or has he gone already? No. He's gonna take an extra step. He's gonna take an extra second. Let's go on board with Major Castleman and watch this restart. Elliott leaving it late. Weaving, there he goes. He gets a bit of a jump on Castleman as a man has come into the pits. Wonder if he's had damage somewhere. But we run down to turn 1. All bunched up for the second time this race. Lord Volk under assault from Book 20. And it gets a little bit squirrely. He's going to have to give up that position to Book 20, which I said, Lazo wasn't going to have to worry about him. But by God, he's actually made a bid to go further up the field. False 12's fighting Pinashiro, who's on the hard tires, going to try to make up that position. False 12 on the mediums. The faster, racier tire not going to happen for now. Might try a dive into the hairpin. Will he do it? He's got the room. He looks for it. Gets in the mirrors, but nothing doing so far. But it's Elliott who's had a good restart so far. And we'll try to get a bit of a gap then to his nearest challenger, Major Castleman, who's leading Coral, then Dog, then Book 20, who's had a great restart, got past both Lazo and Lord Volk. And so Book, I said that Book probably wasn't going to be too much of a roadblock for Lazo, or too much of a threat for Lazo, but now is threatening to throw Lazo's plans into chaos. Lazo's got to get past there. One of the AlphaTaris, I believe that's Knordy, facing the wrong way, hit the death curb on the inside, probably just a little bit too hard, and got spun around. False 12 chomping at the bit, trying to get past the hard shot Pinashiro as Elliott sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Bit of a tank slapper there. It won't get the run on this occasion. And just behind we see Lord Volk having to defend from Lazo. Will Lazo try to go around the outside? He will. Doesn't quite have the space there. Actually, no, does get given the space by Lord Volk, but does not get the launch off the corner that he needs to get past. But critically, as I think DRS will be enabled on the next lap, Lord Volk is out of the DRS range of Book 20, which, the joke is worn off. His name is Buck 20. I'm just going to start saying that now. Snake Paw. But I wonder what's happened to Man, why he's coming to the pits so much later than anyone else. On the medium tires, maybe just thinking that it was too early to come in when the safety car originally came out, and thinking, well, I'll just come in now. Maybe there was damage, and that's why they had to come in. Right then, Lazo still just trying to get past Lord Volk, was threatening through the twisty stuff through there, but still nothing doing. DRS will be enabled on the next lap. Is he even going to wait for it? He's moving to the inside. You wouldn't normally see a move at this corner as it precedes the longest straight on the track. You don't really want to be the leading car going onto it, lest you give up the slipstream in DRS, but DRS not enabled so far. Now will be. I think Lazo has the speedier package in a straight line as we run down to turn 1. He's actually under attack from Villy. Villy's gotten a great slipstream. Villy on the hard tire now is going to try to go to the inside. Ooh, will Lazo lose the position here? Lazo has the inside. Pushes Villy right to the extent of the track. Villy gets a little bit squirrely. And is now going to be under attack from Lord Volk once again, trying to get the position back, and does, with DRS assistance, get back past the Villy. So that was quite the bid by Villy to try and get past the soft-shod Lord Volk, and indeed the medium-shod Lazo. But unfortunately for them, they move back down into P8 and are now being threatened by Brewski behind. Right up ahead, Dog leads Buck 20. About 4/10 of a second. Those soft tires are going to start to hurt around this time. And it looks like Dog's going to be outside of the DRS range of Coral. So should be easy pickings under DRS down this main straight for Buck 20 to continue their charge up the field. Won't even wait for the main straight. No, they're going to wait. Wise decision there. Don't really want to be going for a move into that final corner and giving up the advantage of the DRS, which they'll have now. Going on board, pedestrian absolutely just walks past in a straight line. Speaking of, up ahead, Castleman gets close, but not close enough to make a move on Elliott. But down this next DRS straight, will there be something happening? Don't think there will be. And behind, I don't think Dog will be close enough to Buck to make the return move. The top three all in DRS range of each other. And Buck is... I think Buck's catching. They might just be able to catch by the end of this lap. At this stage, they should have the faster tire. And we'll catch that leading pack. And Lazo isn't catching Dog as fast as I thought they might. Interesting stuff there. Lord Volk's actually still just able to hang on to the DRS range of Lazo, even on those worn soft tires, which, for the people who did not pit on lap 1 with the safety car, the pit stop window is now open. So we might see some action in the pit lane. The undercut's very powerful, and honestly, if I were Major Castleman, I would be coming in this lap, if Elliott does not. I'd honestly be coming in regardless, but no, decides not to. Does Coral? No. Buck 20, of course they don't. Does Dog? No. No one electing to take the early stop off the softs. They're deciding to run a bit longer, maybe hoping for another safety car. Dog looking for the return move on Buck 20, who's not exactly scampering away. Like I said, the DRS is insanely powerful here. And Lazo's losing time to this pair. Someone who I thought who was going to be on the podium is behind. Brewski and Villy getting a bit closer. Is that Brewski and false 12? Getting to get close together. Hugh Sam's pick for the win. Pick for P1 is in P10. There's the number 1 in there. Unfortunately, it's just got a 0 behind it, which of course makes it 10. But I wouldn't expect this to go on for too much longer. False 12 seems to have the pace and might be able to get the move done here on this straight right here. DRS assistance. Villy up ahead is going to be looking for a move on Lord Volk, who has DRS himself, so nothing doing there. False 12. Maybe just declining to deploy any battery there. As the leaders come to the final straight here. The only straight on the track that doesn't actually have DRS on it. And thank God for that, because if it did, it would just make DRS monstrously powerful around here. No one... Oh, Castleman's in. Castleman goes into the pits. Coral continues along. Buck 20 as well continues along. Makes sense. They lead on the medium tires. Dog's going to have the benefit of DRS here and continues on with their race. Lord Volk is the only other soft-shod runner to join Major Castleman in the pits this time around. Castleman's going to emerge back into this race. Looks like it's going to be a P11 for them, unless they get overtaken by the AlphaTauri of Canordi going into turn 1. The Ferrari just a bit too far ahead. Alright, so, and I've missed it looking at the Pit stops, false 12, as I predicted, has gotten past Brewski and is now hunting down his Alfa Romeo teammate and Villy, saying, "Please, brother, let me through. I'm on the faster tires at this stage. Do me a favor and let me past." But now you start to wonder, because Major Castleman's taking that pit, and just undoubtedly the softs at this stage are going off. It's lap 10, they're probably going to be missing a second or two of pace per lap. And, let's see, dog. Who's going to come in this lap? Elliott has to. Elliott absolutely has to. Coral is going to be forced to continue on for another lap, whether they like it or not. Let's see, does Dog come into pit? No. Elliott, the only one opting to pit on this lap, onto the medium tires. As they should, and it looks like Villy's pulled over to the side and lifted just a bit to let their teammate False 12 through. Good team play there. But all eyes on this. Here comes Major Castleman. There's Elliott, and he's through comfortably. I think Elliott might just have a bit of DRS to help them down this straight to maintain the gap. No, does not. Gonna have to get back into that DRS. Oh, does have the DRS. So the roles are reversed. The opening stage of this Grand Prix saw Major Castleman chasing Elliott, and now the roles are reversed. Up ahead, there's a bit of movement between Walrus and Pinashiro. I think Walrus just made a bit of a dive going into the hairpin. There's yellow flags. That's Men who spun it on the curb through turn 1 and 2, but it keeps it out of the wall. That's quite unsafe. Not wearing a helmet, is he? It's quite unsafe from him. But Buck 20 is looking to move into the lead of the race on this lap. Coral's tires are gone. They absolutely are. If we go on board with them, you'll see the banding on the two front tires, just how worn the inside shoulders of them. And it has to come into the pits this lap. Probably should have pit on lap 9. Was denied by Elliott coming into the pits. Dog comes into the pits now as well, and I think everybody who was on the softs kind of has to pit. But that's Buck 20 in the strongest position to win this race currently. Unless there's a safety car, I don't think there's going to be anyone else who will be able to do anything about that lead. Pinashiro comes into the pits as well off the hard tires. Is there damage for them? Yes. See the front wing coming off. Dog comes back out into the Grand Prix behind Canordi. Coral manages to come back out, but 5 seconds behind their teammate. Elliott, P8, half a second now behind Castleman, which is about where you want to be if you want to affect a overtake on the main straight with the DRS. The Grand Prix seemingly just sort of moving towards a bit of a lull stage, and Castleman's going to actually be able to defend himself here on the main straight. They're going to get DRS off the back of Walrus, who again, I'm still not sure if they're actually human controlled or not. But through the S's we go, and Castleman's catching hand over fist here. Elliott's, they're all just concertinaing up. Castleman kind of has to sit behind here. Doesn't want to overtake and give up the DRS down the main straight. That would just invite Elliott to make a pass. But gets a bit slowed up by Walrus coming through the final corner now. Walrus peels to the right-hand side. Might try to defend that. Elliott staying behind for a second longer, trying to get the slipstream. They're both passed. But, ooh, Elliott's got under brakes. Going to try to go around the outside. Maybe a bit frustrated by Walrus, who kind of stuck his nose in on the inside. They're not able to effect a switchback. The old switcheroo on Major Castleman, and so he stays ahead for at least one sector longer. But now, in this race, we see the top 5 have all pitted under the safety car earlier on, and are now going to be hunted down by Castleman, Elliott, And all them who are on, what, 10 lap younger tires? They're going to be catching for sure. Let's look at these tires. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, about 9 laps younger than the people in front of them. But Buck 20 is going to enjoy their time in the sun, and they have quite a lead. I think, barring another safety car, this race is theirs, and there's a little bit of action actually going on for a P13 and P14. Pinashiro and Man having a little bit of a duel between themselves. Coral leaves. A bit of connection issues there for them. The hot Bahrain desert environment, you'll be expecting some. Elliott didn't have his DRS open there. Closes right up, but at least visually did not have the DRS open, so didn't get the move done going into turn 1. Will they get it into turn 4 here? Might just look alongside. No. Elects to stay behind. But Castleman's low on ERS at this stage, into the 20s. Elliott's looking like they're still in the 50s. So maybe Elliott just trying to exhaust Castleman at this stage. Trying to just get him to exhaust all the ERS, get past, and then dump the battery to try and build a 1 second gap. I think that's the smartest thing to do here. 15 laps remaining in this Grand Prix at this stage. Long way to go. And from Elliott's perspective, that's probably the best way to manage it. But of course, they're not fighting for the win at this stage. They're fighting for P5 and P6. Or P6 and P7, rather. But they are catching Brewski. They've caught about a second over the course of the last couple laps, so they should catch him before the end of the Grand Prix. Probably will catch Villy and Falls 12 as well. Which you start to get into a spot of bother when you catch 2 cars who are running nose to tail with DRS, especially if they're teammates. Just ask me. Back in Season 3, at this very race in Bahrain, I was on the optimal tire strategy as Elliott, again, declines to go for the move. They were very close, definitely close enough to go for a dive, but doesn't go for it. So just sort of confirming to me that they're looking to exhaust Castleman before going for that knockout punch. Build a bit of his own battery. Exhaust Castleman's battery. Dog and Coral are going at it here through the next corner. I think that's Dog taking advantage of Coral, who might still be under AI control, who joins back now. And to much dismay, I imagine they'll be seeing that they've been passed. But not to worry, you're still in DRS range. So, fight it back. Castleman and Elliott, the pair, as the first 3-second time penalty goes to Man. The first time penalty handed out to anybody so far in the Grand Prix goes to Man. And Bahrain's not exactly a track that is too affected by penalties. Lazo's catching up to Buck at this stage. 1.7 seconds. The gap was about 3 seconds at one stage, 3 or 4 seconds at one stage. And Villy keeping up with their Alfa Romeo teammate False 12, who for now maintains a podium position. Might not be the case by the end of the Grand Prix, but what I was going to say, relevant to these two, is that back in Season 3, I came across the team of Adolphi, and look, in their Red Bulls, they were running nose to tail, and they worked together very well to keep me behind. I was a faster car than them, for sure, but because they were able to get DRS and just give each other the service of DRS, it made it very difficult. It took me about 10 laps to get past Adolphi. I eventually did. I think I got past Look as well in short order after that, but my tires were dead, couldn't stretch out enough of a gap. And in that race, I actually killed this man right here, False 12, brutally murdered him into turn 1. Then I blamed him, and he ended up giving me a 5-second time penalty, which put me behind both of the Red Bulls. I think Walrus has made a mistake somewhere and now slips behind Canordi. I saw yellow flags and they were hovering around out there. But as I said that Lazo was catching Buck, Buck has turned up the wick a little bit. And is now 2.1 seconds. Gained about 0.4 of a second. Let's go on board with Elliott, who deploys the DRS, is not deploying any battery charge. It is Major Castleman. No. Neither of them really going for it yet. I think Castleman's read Elliott's game at this stage. I think Castleman has read that Elliott's just sitting behind and is biding his time. There's yellow flags. Oh no! Oh no, Buck 20. They've gone around, they've made a crucial mistake there. And what was looking to be maybe not a certain win, but a certain podium, they're now going to be in P4 and going to be under pressure from Brewski now that they have overheated tires. So, Hugh-Sam is absolutely going to be laughing all the way to the bank because his pick for the win, false 12, is now only 2.8 seconds behind Lazo. My pick for the win, Elliott, is still just fumbling around in P7, not really going for it with Castleman, playing the championship game rather than just out and out trying to win the race. Just trying to eke out some sort of advantage on Castleman, but Elliott's batteries looked damn near full, and they are. I'd be surprised to not see them go for it on this lap, but Castleman's caught Brewski. There's yellow flags again. That's the other Mercedes of Man who spun it around. And I think we saw Sergio Perez do that in real life during preseason testing as False 12's pit. False 12 was not living with his tires. He's come in. So Hugh-Sam rolling in his grave. I said he was laughing all the way to the bank. He's rolling in his grave now as his pick to win has just come into the pits and will emerge into the race back in P10 now. As I was saying that, Elliott has got past Major Castleman and in 2 DRS zones. He's gained 2 positions, got past Castleman, has now got past Brewski. Probably wants Brewski to hold up Castleman for the time being, but oh, there's been contact! And Brewski's gone into the wall and has lost his front wing. Will that be a virtual safety car? Or anything of the sorts? I don't think so. Dog and Coral are having a bit of a dog fight here. And Brewski stays nicely out of the way, but the bad luck of the super sub from Division 3 continues as False 12 makes a move on Nordy on the fresh tires, fresh soft tires. How far back into this race can they come? They're going to get P9 from Brewski. But can they catch anyone else other than that? They'll probably have the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as well. But Elliott catching Buck and is in DRS range. And will they just about break the DRS to Castleman? We'll have to see. It was nip and tuck as Buck come into the pits. Buck has come into the pits. They've bailed out of their tire strategy and they've come into the pits. But they've given Elliott the gift of DRS down the main straight. And giving them a bit of an advantage to try and break this toe to Major Castleman. Won't do it on this occasion. But looking good for it. Brewski, of course, comes into the pits. Buck 20. Where will they come out in relation to False 12? They will be behind a False 12. As they were before the pit stops started. But Dog and Coral now going for it at the top of the hill at turn 4. Lord Volk biding their time in the background. Will something happen here? Dueling into the S's. And Coral gets ahead. Dog just backing out there. Any dive bomb here? Doesn't look like it. But Lazo having a good race here. Now leading. But those tires are going to start to suffer. Everyone else around him on the same strategy has just been bailing out. And opting to go for the 2-stop onto the soft tires to finish out the Grand Prix. I hope Lazo isn't going to come in. I hope that he sees out this strategy, sees it out to the end. He's got the win in front of him, and Coral's just so far behind Castleman. I can't see him dropping lower than P4. He kind of has to stick with it. Villy behind on the hard tires, now starting to catch. Elliott not quite able to break the toe of Major Castleman so far. In this fight for P5, will it continue on? Dog dumping the battery into it. Using some ERS. Gonna draw alongside with Coral going into turn 1 under brakes. Not quite. Not quite gonna go for it. But it's going to be very close now, and they're going to be fighting once again going into turn 4. Coral's got the inside, but Dog swoops right around the outside. Coral's going to try to come back. Going to have to back out. It's his turn to back out this time. And Lord Volk sitting behind just saying, please, one of you crash, or both of you crash. I think that'd work out for him quite well. But Connordy's coming to the pits once again. Is this a scheduled stop onto another set of softs? Won't get the point for it at this stage. Not a front wing change, so just fresh tires for them. And Castleman still sitting behind Elliott. And Elliott's used a lot of that extra battery charge they had built up. Has not been able to break the toe of Castleman. Castleman is in a good position and now come back past for the fight for the final step of the podium. Castleman going alongside. Ooh, backs out of it at the last second. Just menacing Elliott for the time being. Just getting in his mirrors. Back behind. Back on board with his midfield fight for P5. False 12 sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Will take home 5 points. For their troubles. Coral on this occasion not going to be able to go for the return move, as those guys have been fighting all the while. I'm sure I've missed out on quite a few good fights from them. I wish there was a live replay feature. Put it on the wish list for F1 2022. 1 week removed from the real thing. We're here in Bahrain, of course, with last year's cars. Don't quite have the technology to make the cars just bounce mercilessly up and down on the straights. But Elliott looking good. Good exit from this corner will afford them DRS from Villy to help defend from Castleman, and indeed they're burning a bit of battery there in order to get into that DRS range. And once again, they have the advantage of being the car in front. They want to get past Villy here, and they want Castleman to just get stuck behind it. They really just want Villy to sort of act as a roadblock, act as almost a teammate for them in this stage. Speaking of Elliott's teammate, here comes Coral. Once again, going to go for the reply move on Dog. Going to the outside. Is it going to happen on this occasion? Cuts back. Has the inside for turn 2, cuts across the curb. Doesn't look like they have a particularly good exit. Who has the DRS here? Neither of them are deploying it, and Lord Volk has just pulled in front of both of them. One of them had to have had the DRS there. Coral's going to try to fight it back, but Lord Volk squeezes them out. And that was the opening that Lord Volk has been looking for this entire race, just biding their time, sitting behind, and well, the opportunity has opened up for them to ease their way into P5, and just behind them I noticed catching as Elliott's made a move through the second DRS zone. Brewski picks up a 3-second time penalty. Tough luck for them here today, but False 12 is catching this trio very quickly. It's about to become a quartet. Difference maker. False 12 is on relatively young soft tires. Let's look at them. 3-lap-old soft tires against 9-lap-old mediums. Those softs will start to fall off near the end, but for now, they'll be fine. Castleman gets past Villy, is going to look for a move on Elliott. At the same time, Elliott leaves him the space, but keeps the position for the time being, so Castleman just being able to out-drag Villy. Let's go on board with him. Makes sense. They're on single-digit battery percentage. And so Coral going to try to go up the inside of Lord Volk, then into turn 1. Lord Volk has the inside, going to fight it back. And in the same place that they gained 2 positions just a lap ago, they might lose 2 positions, take that back. It's going to be Coral losing position to Dog. If anything, they're fighting side by side going through turn 4 once again, but Coral just keeps their position. False 12 gains that little bit more, is now within DRS range. We'll have it for the rest of this lap. And Elliott, my pick to win this race, is only 1.5 seconds behind Lazo. And let's just look at Lazo's state of charge. Doesn't have a lot. In the teens for their ERS percentage. Elliott looking a bit more healthy on 40%. Castleman on about 30. Villy in the single digits, but is able to hang on to the DRS of these two. And where Lazo took the tires that were going to be faster initially, Villy might be laughing, saying that I took the tires that were going to be faster in the long run. But just behind, Major Castleman's making a move here on Elliott. They're going to fight it all the way through. Turn 2 and 3, the twisting first sector. Will there be contact? No, they just about keep it clean. You could fit a nut hair between them. Ooh, but Castleman pushes Elliott off the track. And just about gives the space and lets Elliott back through. In the same spot that Fernando Alonso said the very famous quote, "All the time you have to leave the space." Well, Castleman didn't quite leave the space for Elliott there, pushing the Aston Martin off the track. False 12 has officially arrived in this fight for P5. They have to overtake 3 cars. They have 5 laps to do it. To get that P5, that tasty, tasty P5. And Buck 20 might just join this come the end of the Grand Prix. Walrus P10 started in last or close enough and is going to be taking their hards to the end. Might just be able to sneak a point for AlphaTauri. But this is becoming a very compelling fight for P5, or it might actually become the fight for P6, as Lord Volk is just about teetering on the cusp of DRS to Coral. Will they stay within it? They just about manage it. Up ahead, Elliott has the DRS on Lazo. Moved alongside and passed in the braking zone. Elliott is into the lead of the Grand Prix, and they're going to be moving up towards Mann, who's currently running last in the Grand Prix. Might have blue flags by the end. But once again, Elliott makes the overtake and is going to be hoping, praying, as False 12 goes for a kamikaze dive bomb. Doesn't come off for them, doesn't work. And they're going to be hurting for that. They're going to be hurting. And they might be under attack from Buck 20 now, as Dog up ahead is going to be looking for the move on Lord Volk, who I think just about had the advantage of DRS off of Coral. And it's all moving around all the time. Lazo now is going to be hoping that they can stay within the DRS range of Elliott so that they're not going to be passed by the end by Major Castleman. If I gotta say, I was kind of doubting him in qualifying, but looks on course to get a podium here and is still within a very good chance of a win. And the Mercedes of Mann just getting out of the way there for the race leader, as it does indeed look like Lazo will have DRS here. Major Castleman doesn't have much ERS to play with, but he has the speed, and he's just going to be able to fit between the two of them. The back marker and Lazo is going to go into turn 1 in P2, but Lazo's going to come back, and Major Castleman turns in on him. They make contact, and oh, there's contact there between Mann and Castleman, and is that damage? It looked like it was just wheel to side pod, but Lazo's going to give the position back to Castleman there. But the damage has been done to Castleman's race. He's 2.5 seconds behind Elliott now, who's moved back into the lead. Lazo is in P3 now, and will find themselves under attack from Villy on the hard tires. But oh, that's damage. That is damage for Castleman, as behind Lord Volk and Dog are still going for it. But that's damage for Castleman. The gaps are big enough. I don't think he pits. I think he has to stay out here and just firm it to the end. But we'll see what he does at the end of the lap. Lazo's going to go back past. He kind of has to. for the good of his own race. Villy takes some good speed through there. They're going to go side by side, and Villy now takes P2, but they're carrying a 3-second time penalty, so it might not come off at the end. But what a shame for Castleman here. The damage isn't bad enough to be visual on his front wing, so I don't think he's going to come in. There's so few laps left in the Grand Prix. I don't think that they're going to have to come in. Lord Volk is under insane pressure now. As False 12 has caught back up to this party with Buck in close company. And False 12 actually gets a 3-second time penalty. And it looks like they've made a bit of a mistake coming out of the final corner. Might find themselves under attack from Buck going into the first corner. Here comes Dog. Gets past Lord Volk before the braking zone. False 12 has managed to keep Buck behind. Coral's running away with P5, and Lazo, I think, is just his penance, is just deciding to stay behind Castleman to the end of the Grand Prix. And that's some good sportsmanship being shown if it is. I mentioned Walrus earlier might be on for a point for AlphaTauri, but Penashiro on younger medium tires has managed to catch and pass the AlphaTauri. So now the main fight in the field looks like it's going to come down to see if the soft tire runners can get past Lord Volk. False 12 has a 3-second time penalty, so it's not really going to matter too much where he ends up on track. He's probably going to end up at the back of this train. But Buck 20 is probably just praying that False 12 moves himself out of the way, because his soft tires have a bit more life in them, and he doesn't have the disadvantage of the 3-second time penalty. Runs wide there, might pick up a warning for that. But he's almost out of ERS. But let's see, will there be any action on the main straight? Lord Volk just barely managing to hold on to the DRS of Dog. False 12 once again under pressure from Buck, who just doesn't have any battery charge, so isn't able to make the move. And Coral's catching a couple seconds a lap, as Buck once again showing that he has the pace to get past False 12, but just runs out of ERS, just doesn't have the deployment to get past in a straight line. Will he go for the dive into the hairpin here? He's certainly close enough. He might look for it. False 12 goes defensive. Buck looks for the old switcheroo. Not going to happen on this occasion. Will False 12 go defensive into turn 9 and turn 10? Yes. Actually, they will. Going to compromise the exit. But when you have an advantage of battery charge like this, it might not matter. Going into the outside is Buck. Launches it under the brakes. Gets alongside. And now up the hill they'll continue fighting. Past the death curve, and it looks like Buck has just barely managed to squeeze past. A battle that went on for corner after corner after corner, and Buck finally pulls off the move. But at this stage, you're going to wonder if Lazo has damage, because he's fallen way far behind Castleman, or maybe it's just the tires. The tires could just be going off that much, and Coral might still be looking to make this into a P4. It's the last lap, so I don't imagine they'll be able to do much unless there's major damage on Lazo. Castleman's car doesn't look quite like it. I don't think there's going to be any movement just behind. I think it's all just settled down. We've seen all the action, seen it all play out. And what a last 10 laps it was. Incredible action between everyone. As we come into the dying throws, there's only a handful of people with a 3-second time penalty. Villy is one of them, but it's not going to matter because he has a 4-second advantage on Castleman. False 12 is a 3-second time penalty, not going to matter. Has a 23-second gap to Penashiro. Brewski as well has a 3-second time penalty, not going to matter. Has a 25-second gap to Nordy, and Mann has a 3-second time penalty. Not going to matter because they're in last of the runners. But who's had a good race here? Villy has had a great race for them. Great points for the Alfa Romeo as Elliott, I've completely ignored it, Elliott's crossed the line. My prediction has come true. They win the Bahrain Grand Prix. Villi's going to come home for a P2, a great podium. And Coral gets past Lazo. Coral does get past Lazo. Either the tires have gone off in a major way or there's been some sort of damage, but Lazo is going to end up in a P4. Coral gets dropped to P7. I don't think that was supposed to happen, but maybe there's a hidden penalty that I just wasn't seeing. But what a race. And the finish that I'm being shown, I think Coral should be in P3, or P4 rather. But the finishing order that the timing tower has given me is Elliott P1, 10 seconds back to Villy. Dominant win for them after Castleman got removed from the picture. Speaking of Castleman, P3, Villy P2. Good race for them, probably my driver of the day. Great race from them to find themselves in P2, making that strategy of pitting early under the safety car work very well. Elliott as well, also just driving a superb race, coming through the field, fighting Castleman all the while, and comes out on top. A great race. And the game does give the Driver of the Day award to Villy. Here's your podium. Aston Martin, Alfa Romeo, and Ferrari. I've skipped through the podium celebrations. I don't know why I did that. Yeah, Coral somehow ending up in P7. I think they should have been P4. But Lazo dropping to P4 after their kerfuffle. Dog P5, Lord Volk P6, Coral P7, Buck 20 is P8, False 12 ends up in P9 after they had to be forced onto a 2-stop and got that 3-second time penalty. Penishiro P10, Walrus will be P11, Brewski finds himself P12, Canordi P13, P14 for Man, last of the runners, and Chamblizi and Mello, the only retirements from the race, in P15 and P16. Wonderful race, I gotta say. Thank you to everyone who gave me the opportunity to run here in Division 2. Thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you to Hugh Sam for joining me for qualifying and for the first start of the race, and for giving me his lovely insight. And thank you to all the drivers for giving me a spectacle to watch and shout about from the comfort of my own room. Well, that's going to be it for me today. And, well, till next time, who knows what division I'm going to be watching next time. Who knows what division I'm going to be shouting about next time. But until then, au revoir, good night, good evening, goodbye, and au revoir there, Chief.